Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We are here back with the sports edition. We came back from the underground. The summer is over, the drought is done, football season is here, and we got the boys in the building. I am your host, Ray. First and foremost, we appreciate y'all being here. We are here with the Keep It Clean team. Please like, comment, and subscribe. You can find us on YouTube's dropping videos. You'll see our clips on Instagram at the Keep It Clean Show, and the same thing on TikTok. Please also follow us there. I'm happy to be here. I'm wearing a jersey that I only get to wear every now and then when we win, which is rare for the Falcons team. But thank y'all. I'm gonna pass it over to the homie Rose. How you doing? What's up?
Doing good, man. Look, Falcons win, we good. That's all I know.
And then we got the old head, the seen it all. He used to rock the fro like Julius back in the day. here, here for another sports five, man. It went from the fro to the beard. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, sir. I appreciate y'all having me back.
Hey, yeah, I'm gonna start it off, man. You down 0-2. How the Bears looking?
All right. Thanks for having me, y'all. Y'all have a good night. Um, you know, when
um,
we had Mike Eberflus as the coach, we couldn't get the offense right. Now we have an offensive genius. We can't get the defense right. And Caleb Williams is still doing what Caleb Williams wants to do.
say less. Say less. So we gonna get into it, man. We here to talk on topics. We had a mega match. We had a mega match in the boxing ring that occurred this past weekend, man. We had we had a gentleman jump up three weight classes. We have another gentleman that's won 68 fights. What was he? 68 2-2, I believe. But we
Something like
had
that.
Canelo Alvarez versus Terrence Bud Crawford, man. Heavyweight. Or what was their weight class? Remind me what their weight class was.
Super middle.
Super middleweight, man.
Uh,
I think one of the last great matchups that we will have for a decent amount of time, bro. Either one of you get a chance to tune in to the fight.
Yep. Tuned in all the way, man. So um it kind of, me and you made our predictions like a week ago and we was wrong. We was wrong for sure. We was wrong. As I kind of knew after the first round, I kind of realized what was going on. Like the weight difference didn't really matter. This was a skill gap. And the one thing that I did say when we was making those predictions, one thing that I could definitely tell was that Canelo he's starting to reach that point where he's about to be done, bro. Like he got a lot of miles, a lot of fights. It's a big gap in between how many fights he's fought and how many fights Bud has fought. Even though Bud is 37, he's a lot younger in the ring than Canelo. And you could tell
Yeah,
from the sharpness, the quickness, just all around. I don't think Canelo came in there with a proper game plan against somebody like Bud. And what Bud did was smart. He stayed southpaw the whole fight. He didn't
yes.
switch it up. He didn't try to do anything else. He stayed southpaw and he schooled him, counter punching, jab the hell out of him most of the fight. And then when it came down to that ninth round, he stood in the circle and banged with him. You know what I'm saying? Stuff that they said he couldn't do, he checked every single box. And to me, he won convincingly. I know if he didn't win in that fashion, the judges were not going to give him that fight. Even when I
Right.
saw the final score, I was like, what the hell are they looking at? I have no idea why some of those was as close as they were. But he outlanded him. The only thing that Canelo had over him was power punches because that's all he was trying to throw. Crawford executed his game plan to a T. Um, and through all that, he's one of the greatest fighters that has lived, bro. I mean, to go up three weight classes, to have been undisputed in four different weight classes is unheard of. So, I mean, kudos
Right.
to him, and he one of the greatest.
Right. What about you, Jamel? You pull up on it?
I didn't watch the whole fight. I got through the first round, and then I came back for the last round. Um, everything Rose said is right, man. I mean, I didn't know Crawford could box like that. He outboxed Canelo. It wasn't even about being physical. He just clearly outboxed him. Um, and I didn't know the fight was going to be that quick either. So Yeah.
Yeah, it did kind of for that mega matchup, it did seem like it
Hmm.
kind of flew by. It really did. I think what to your point, Rose, as well, and for both of y'all, is like, man, Canelo's game plan was hit him hard. That's what became so evident to me about midway through the second round is I mean, and what I don't want to take away, despite the masterclass that Bud put on, every time Canelo missed with that left, I felt like I could hear it whiz by my ear because he was throwing hard. And if one of those connected, we are talking about a different type of fight, and which was crazy to say because we watched Bud take hits that they told us he couldn't take and stood tall on them. And a specific thing that I picked up on his strategy, I don't know if it was the shift in the weight class, but if you notice, Bud never really went body at any point. It was continuous headshots throughout the entire fight. Like it was to the point where
Canelo
even
Canelo is elite at defense. Like that's his thing. He is a counter puncher. Like
yeah,
that's
fast.
that's what Canelo does. But it's hard to counter punch when somebody is as fast as Bud is, and he's so precise. Like you're not gonna be able to just bully him and do all the other stuff that you do to everybody else. It just it didn't go that way, bro. Like and he
Yeah,
never. The other thing about Canelo, for him to be as versed as he is in the boxing world, it seems like he just never switched up his game plan. Like his corner didn't have a plan B. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be able to go to different buckets as a fighter, just as any other sport. Like you playing
right,
basketball, if you can't go to the right now, but use your left. Like
right, right.
you got to be able to go to different things in your skill set. And it just seemed like he just kept doing the same thing over and over. You could tell he got frustrated after a while. Like he like, damn, I didn't. You could tell he didn't even think that Bud was as good as he was.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And the one thing that I think we discounted as well is that for Bud to have fought at 168 in super middleweight, it wasn't that far fetched for him to beat him as far as the weight thing goes, because Bud is probably fighting closer to his natural weight. So when he fight
Mm,
at 145, he's you got to drain. So for this
right.
time, he got to probably lift weights. He got to really train and condition as hard as he could without having to cut weight. So that I think that played a big role in it too.
Man, that boy from Nebraska, he went right home and got some regular food.
Yeah.
You know, because it does make it tough with both of them are naturally counterpunchers, and that's been their highest success piece of their boxing styles. And I don't think we gave the fair credit of acknowledging for every time we said the weight that Canelo had, we also discounted the speed that Crawford was bringing, going up that weight class. That for where he's usually at, you have to have fast hand speed. They're not power punchers to the extent that you would be once you start moving up in size. So the we thought it would take 4 or 5 of those to equal one Canelo punch, and we were wrong. I have no issue saying I was wrong there because even
Oh
in our
yeah, we was wrong for sure. I mean,
yeah, man,
did you watch Crawford last fight at 154? Like
yeah, the one that
his
they
last
said was
fight,
debatable.
he just didn't look as good as he looked this fight. I mean, this one of the best fights I ever seen him fight, and I watch him often. So I was surprised, bro. I was surprised.
Who's next
Um, if he
for
want to
him?
test his
Like,
luck, if he want to test his luck in 160 and fight, I could see him fighting Charlo, which I don't
oof,
really think that is a really good fight after watching Canelo spank his brother. I don't they fight a similar style. I don't
right.
really think that's a good fight for him. But honestly, he cleared everybody out, bro. It ain't nobody to really fight except if he want to go see if Benavidez will come down. Benavidez will come down. That's like his last mega fight to me, at least. Like I don't really see.
It would we look at that the same as what we looked at for Canelo? Because mind you, man, Canelo was winning all the way up until Benavidez. You feel me? So it's like Canelo was the mega match and was clearly the dominant party for as long as he was within those weight classes for the belts that he was holding. Benavidez is there, but are we just doing this because you're next on the list? Like, is
No, they fought. He
and if
fought the
anything, to
other.
your point,
He
I make
fought
him
the.
come
He
down.
fought the other Benavidez. Remember, that's his brother. He got
Yeah,
another
you're right.
like
You're right.
the real Benavidez, the real Punisher. He fighting heavyweight right now. Like that's the real one. That's Benavidez had been trying to fight Canelo and he had been ducking him. So like
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. We'll
Um,
see how that go.
if he even for Charlo, man, I would make him come down to my weight because I'm the bigger name. I'm the A side here. I make him come down to my
I'm
weight,
just
man.
for Bud, I don't think he wants to fight Charlo. I don't think he's impressed with Charlo. Charlo hasn't fought in a couple years at this point. I wouldn't. I would make Charlo go win a fight that actually matters first, and then we could probably have a discussion. But I mean, it's Bud's world right now, bro. He the face of boxing. So whoever he want to fight, the fight is there, and they got to pick it up. I don't think Canelo want to have that rematch either. They're gonna probably have a sanctioned rematch because he took the belt. That's in the clauses, but I don't really see. I see that fight going the same exact way.
I would say this was a beautiful showing to counteract Jake Paul fighting Tank. So I was glad to see
I
this.
don't. I don't even want to talk about that.
You know what I'm saying? Like this. Ah man, because to watch Shakur and who was homie that they more or less said they agreed to the fight right there in Crawford's press conference post fight.
Oh, him and
Uh, because he
uh,
told him he said sign the contract. Like, you talking but sign the contract.
I
Um,
forgot. Damn it, I forgot. Uh,
it's a
uh
at least the point of it is we getting fights that we want to
Tiafimo.
see. There you
Tiafimo.
go. So with him and Shakur, we getting fights that we wanted to see, man. I wanted to take that jab, if you will. I mean, you wasting our time. You know what we trying to see. I'm not gonna say you ducking Tank. I don't believe you're ducking. I do think you knew what we want. And I feel like Jake Paul didn't have the funds that you could have got for either one of the names that are out there trying to see you right now. At least me personally. I hear,
Yeah,
you know,
Turkey Al Sheik is paying for all the mega matches right now. I mean, you're not gonna get the same number that probably Jake Paul was gonna pay you because y'all probably gonna split that whole purse. You know what I mean? So
what? I think he might have got more. I
nah,
think he might have got more, man.
nah, there's no way.
Canelo pulled off 100 for this fight.
But that's because he had already had a deal like a 3 fight deal signed already. Like he was getting that money regardless.
Okay. You might
Did
be
you
right
hear
there.
about? Did you hear about the fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah,
That's how I felt. What he just said about the Tank fight is how I felt
Mm.
about seeing that. Right?
I don't want to watch that either.
I wish it never crossed my timeline. That's how I feel about it. I wish it never crossed my time. And it made me question, is Mike okay? And please check on him because why are we doing this? And I get the urge to fight, but that just tells me what are we going to see Floyd next to in some nonsense fight that we don't want to see again? Nah, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that, man. But we're gonna do a quick, brief run through. College football is back. We got 3 weeks in. We have some upsets. We will probably get back to y'all on a regular basis, just seeing what happens in the future episodes that we're doing for the sports show, because more than likely it'll be weekly. This past weekend, man, we're gonna have a conversation about Dabo probably being ousted at Clemson with the upset with Georgia Tech. And then for the most part, you ain't missed nothing besides it's the Big Ten and it's the SEC, and that is college football currently as we speak. It's college football as we speak. So Clemson's out of here. They were the only or one of the few lone hopes that weren't a part of that division. Or hopefully Florida State could hold on to it for the ACC, and then it falls off after that. Big 12 kind of there, but yeah, that's about it. Y'all got any feedback on that? Nah.
So, if Dabo Swinney gets in trouble at Clemson, do you think he's going to go to Alabama because they're going to fire their head coach?
I did forget that Alabama's losing. Um,
I mean, they beat Wisconsin, but
Yay. Is
Right.
is that is that traitorous? I know it don't matter when you get in the bag and it's business, but for him to leave Clemson and go to Alabama, is that
Well,
is that not traitorous?
it's not like he's going from an SEC team to Alabama. He's in the ACC.
I
So
think he's more equipped to coach Alabama than what's his name coaching Alabama right now. Just because he coming from a
mhm.
big program, I think he's more equipped. But Alabama, the playing field is leveled, man. All that other shit, all that Alabama dominating, that's over with. The NIL has leveled the playing field. It's over. It's over.
Not, not only has it leveled the playing field, it's like you dealing with a conference that absorbed kind of two powerhouses as well. Texas showing up just as a brand changes a lot. It changes a lot,
Texas
man.
is
The fact that
awful.
they're awful facts, but the fact that for them to join the SEC, they made them get rid of their own network that they had on ESPN. Just kind of tells you like the brand that they're bringing to the table. So we've seen names pop up from Texas going to the league, and they're really starting to put a stamp similar to the DBU of LSU and then what Ohio State has been doing. So, to your point, in addition to that, Saban leaving, bro, no one's scared of Alabama no more either. NIL or not, no one's scared of them. Like
Nope.
you just a team at this point. So, man, but now we got the top 10: OSU, Ohio State, Penn State, LSU, Miami, Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, Texas, Illinois, and finally doing something right for the first time in the last 4 5 years is Texas A&M at 10 with some good wins at that. Just beat Notre Dame. I think that was another one. That was an upset.
Hey man, don't sleep on Vanderbilt, bro.
Vanderbilt is currently 20th because they just beat South Carolina. That was a
Don't
good
sleep
game.
on
Yeah,
Vanderbilt, bro. They coming. They
they
coming.
just beat South Carolina. You think that's a new name in the SEC?
Hey, I'm just saying, don't sleep. Don't sleep.
Jamel don't believe you. Jamel don't believe you.
Hey, I know the thing that wins in college football right now, if you ain't just got a ridiculous defense, it's veteran quarterbacks. And that's exactly what Vanderbilt got right now. They can run, they physical as hell. Hey, we'll see. We'll see how it play out.
Well, they play Georgia State next week, so they should be able to slide
They
up
gonna beat
another
the hell
spot.
out of them.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
they should slide up another spot. So, nah, they should be. Yeah, okay, okay. I'll take your word for it. I'll take your word for it. All right. No major matchups that I'm aware of for college football this week either. I think the biggest game is shit. Indiana and Illinois, because Illinois is number 9 and Indiana's 19. That's the best game we got this week.
Should be a
And
good
Yeah,
Auburn
game
playing
too.
Oklahoma. Auburn playing Oklahoma, 22-11.
yeah. I
Yeah,
don't
I
I
don't
don't
like
really
that.
see too much. I don't really see too much. Hey, don't be
Utah,
surprised if
Texas Tech,
Sam
that's
Houston
sixteen
mess around
seventeen.
and beat Texas. I'm on upset alert for Texas every week. Every week they play, I'm on upset alert.
But it's not an upset. I don't think I don't do we believe that when they lose it's an upset just on
Yeah, I
what
mean
we've
they
seen
the
from the
number
Texas team?
18 in the country. I'm just on upset every time they play. I got
What was
them in
Clemson
a
ranked coming into the season?
uh I don't know. Coming into the season, I don't know. They was top
Were they
I
five.
not
know
top
they were
five?
ranked though.
Okay. And we seen them struggle. I think they're better than Texas.
Oh yeah, for
Texas
sure.
losing.
But Texas
Yeah,
is
so
not a
I
good
don't
team though, so that's not saying too much.
yeah, and so Texas losing doesn't it's not surprising to me, but I don't even think it'd be an upset. But I
So
got what you're saying.
is the team bad or is Arch Manning bad?
I
He
think their
does have to
entire
develop.
offense is not good
I think their coach is
from what
bad.
I can see.
I do think their coach is bad. I
Oh no.
we man, okay.
They just
You
played with
had a
Quinn
great
Ewers last year, like and went to
yeah,
they,
and
they
barely
played
got through that
good.
year.
If you winning with
They
Quinn
played all
Ewers, you're
right.
good.
The team that he had the year before was significantly better than the team that he had last year, and the team that he had last year had the clearest route to go win a title. You fumbled an opportunity. That was the cleanest route that Texas could ever wish for, to especially gliding into the college football playoffs. You had one job. You did. You had one
Nobody
job in a team.
nobody was beating Ohio State. It didn't matter anyway.
I I don't know that to be true.
I do. I watched it.
I don't think they were just going to glide by Penn State. I don't think they were going to glide by Penn State.
Uh,
But
okay.
I got you. I got you. I man, who Jamel, you got an upset alert in the near
Um,
future, or who's a team you think is phony? That's what I'll go with. Who's a team you think is
what
phony in the
I
CFP?
think is phony. So I've never been a fan of anything that Oregon does. The coach at Oregon, Oregon can make it to the playoffs year after year, and they get stumped year after year. All that speed they try to use at Oregon doesn't impress teams from the Big Ten or the SEC. They don't care about all the speed, and they punch them in the mouth. So I don't look for Oregon to do much. Florida State is surprising with how well they're doing, and Florida is surprising with how bad they're doing, which is crazy because last year it was the opposite.
Yeah.
But I just hope in conference games scare me. I'm a Michigan guy. They play in Nebraska. Nebraska's not very good. They haven't been good since Tom Osborne. So it terrifies me anytime Michigan plays a game like that. I guess I put Michigan on upset alert. Maybe even Notre Dame. They haven't won a game yet. They're
Mm.
24th, and now they're playing Purdue. So, ugh.
N-
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
I got Florida
Go ahead,
losing
Russ.
clearly. DJ Lagway has been extremely disappointing. He looks really bad. I thought that this was gonna be a dude that was on Heisman watch. He'll be lucky if he get drafted. So, you know,
He,
we'll
I,
see.
I feel like watching him is kind of what we saw happen to Spencer Rattler, and just the unfortunate turn of events somewhere in that college career for the hype that you had. I'll say this for my piece on it. I'm never a Notre Dame fan, and it hurts me that they have a black head coach that he's going through this. But the way that you speak about Oregon is the way that I feel about Notre Dame. You're the Gonzaga of football, and you
You
you will
know,
pull up every year just to glide past all the nonsense that these other teams have to see, just to get stomped out by somebody. And they had a close
I
one with Penn State. I do think them or Penn State had a strong chance to possibly see OSU in that final. However, you didn't deserve the ranking you had.
I don't like Notre Dame because I'm a Michigan guy, but I root for Notre Dame because of I think his name is Marcus Pfizer,
Yeah,
Marcus Freeman, Marcus Freeman.
Freeman. Yeah,
I root for them because of
black ass
him.
name.
Yep, no
It's a black
doubt,
ass name, bro.
no doubt. Um, I hope they beat Purdue, but what really, in my opinion, what really hurts Notre Dame year after year, they're not in a conference. That Conference USA mess, no one cares about any of that stuff. They're not in the SEC. Every year, it seems like the Big Ten is saying, join us, because you're already
Yeah.
right there, you know? And every year they say, nah, we're good, we're good, we're good. But with the playoff system, I think it's going to hurt them because they're not playing the same level of competition because, yeah, they go outside their conference, but they're not playing the SEC week after week like teams in the SEC do, or they're not playing teams from the Big Ten week after week like teams in the Big Ten do. So I really think playing Texas Christian Community College is going to bite Notre Dame behind.
Yeah.
Is that a real game?
No, no,
Texas Christian. Oh, I was about to say like that. Then Texas
not
Christian.
community college, but Texas Christian University is TCU.
Yeah, that's a fraudulent school in itself, year after year too. That's a fraud. Year after year, TCU is bro. TCU is consistently fraudulent, especially since with Damian Tomlinson, consistently fraudulent, man.
I
Oh,
mean, I don't
good
think
man.
they're fraudulent. I just think, you know what I'm saying? It's a big gap between them and teams that are in the SEC. I mean, it's a gap. That's it. I don't think they're fraudulent. They get as far as they can. They're not winning a championship. Like,
But even okay, even before they go see the SEC teams, what they're doing in the Big 12, even for a weaker conference of what the Big 12 was before Texas and OU leaving, they oftentimes got there because OU and Texas and Baylor took a lump somewhere else. So you didn't do it, they just didn't. And that's where it looked choppy to me. But we gonna move right on to important pieces, man. You know why we're all here. Sundays are back. Sundays are back. And we gonna ask and start off with, what does this look like?
we got Tua give Josh Allen his flowers. Damn joke. You got paid all that money and you glaze it. Terrible.
Yeah, he is.
Head coach about to lose his job because of you. You'll be
Oh
lucky to
man,
be
I
the
hate this
starting
motherfucker.
quarterback in the NFL in 2 years. You will be lucky. I'm telling you.
Oh, calling the white man supreme too is also hilarious to me. You know, calling the white man supreme is absolutely insane to me, bro. CTE season is back. 2 weeks in to CTE season, and who else to lead us off into our first football episode on the sports show than CTE man himself, Tua Tagovailoa. I actually said that right. That's the first time I've actually pronounced his name right. The first time, bro.
And they about to
Is this
they
a
about to
testament
play
to what
right
we've seen
now in
so
a
far in
few
the
minutes
season?
too.
Yep. And we're gonna see further of it. So just as y'all should know, if we continue to film these, there's a strong chance we'll probably have a game on in the background. I just want y'all to know that. So reactions are also necessary. And when we start going live and chopping it with y'all, keeping us up to date with the scores, that's what we're going for. Tua talking about Josh. Is that not a proper representation for how this season has gone so far? You got big dogs and you got others. That's how it feels to me. Am I off?
Nah, that sounds about right to me, actually. You have Buffalo, Baltimore, Green Bay. You have your top teams, Philadelphia, and then you have the wannabe top teams. Every year, the Miami Dolphins are a letdown. Uh, their head coach is another one of these quarterback whisperers, an offensive genius. And if Tua is healthy, they don't do anything every year. They put all that speed on the outside, Waddle on one side, Hill on the other. They still don't do anything. The offensive line is trash. Their defense is trash. But people want to focus on let's throw the ball downfield. Well, Tua has an arm about as strong as mine. And sometimes I think he's about as accurate as I am too. So what are you going to do? You need I don't want to say a prototypical quarterback, but you definitely need at least someone with Russ Wilson's arm, at least,
Yeah,
if
I
they're going to be
mean,
tiny like Tua.
I think the main issue that they have is what we've seen is they can't play in anything under 40-degree weather. Every time that they've played in anything under 40-degree weather, they're 0-7. It's simple and plain. And if they don't, I'm serious. And if they don't win their division, which they will not be winning their division again, you don't get home field advantage. So if you can't play in cold weather, unfortunately, when you get into the playoffs, all the teams that are actually worth the fuck, they all play in cold weather places.
Yeah.
They all do. So
It is do y'all think he makes it through the season as a coach?
no,
You think he gets fired during the season?
he might get fired after this game. I'm serious.
You're not wrong. That's why is because is it him or is it the team? Because he also is in a position. Don't get me wrong. They fumbled a lot of playoff games. The amount of injuries, especially having to rely on, he's seen what, six different backups for how many times Tua's been hurt?
You know what I'll call Josh Daniels because I think that's his name. He is a prototypical front runner. when things are going good, he looks like one of the best head coaches in the NFL. And when things have begun to go bad, he hides and he tucks his tail and he makes excuses. He is a typical front runner in every sense of the word. I just don't think he is a great leader of men. You can't have your wide receiver saying that I'm serious. You can't have your wide receiver at the end of the season say, "Hey, I'm leaving. I don't know what they're gonna do," and then you bring him back and he's still one of the like captains of the team. Can't do that. Your actual quarterback can't stay healthy. When he does be healthy, he out there glazing other teams. Like it is a shit show over there. You have to get him out of there and put an interim coach in because the next 2 weeks after they play, they got little patty cake games. So at least if you put an interim coach there, coach can get probably a couple little wins, get the morale back. But right now, that team is terrible, bro. It's bad in Miami. It's bad.
I don't know if morale comes back as long as I think one, the team is fed up with Tua, not just as a person, but it's just like, man, you don't know and it's not working. And I also think the team has done a good job mitigating the Tyreek Hill feedback, but I do think they feel away. I do think they
For
definitely
sure.
feel away. And so their entertaining trade topics is just with his age, I we can kind of transition off the Dolphins, but it's like what would be a potential landing space for Tyreek? Like what offense or what teams do you think would go out their way to get him
All of
right?
them.
All I don't,
Any contending team, wouldn't be surprised if Kansas City try to pick him back up.
I was
I
gonna
My
say
would not be
pick.
surprised.
they're one of the main ones that need a receiver. Most of the other contending
Hmm.
teams are all right. Because
Yeah.
Baltimore is one of the ones that say has I would say one of the weaker receiver cores out of the contending teams. But because you have Derrick Henry, you get the supplement and Lamar Jackson, you get the
Nah,
supplement.
they got some
They no,
dogs over there, receiver.
they
They
got
just
dogs,
less known.
no, but what I'm saying is like okay, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith. You're working with even for Pat for a minute. You have Rasheed Rice, you have Travis Kelsey. I'm talking about just like the cores of what you have. Burrow having Higgins and Chase. Like as you go through the league, there's stronger cores to me than what maybe Baltimore has, but you're working with other pieces. I'm trying to think of a team that is Hill is a must. That's a contender that doesn't have something similar or a good set of offensive skill set.
I mean, you got the Chiefs. I wouldn't be surprised if somebody like the Bills try to pick him up because that opens up a lot of stuff for Josh Allen. I wouldn't be surprised if I mean it's just the problem is if you bring Tyreek Hill in with his reputation at this point, I don't think a lot of teams are gonna really want that, especially if you clicking because he's a diva. So I don't
Yeah,
know if teams are really gonna want him in the locker room. So I mean, it's really only maybe 2 or 3 teams that'll pick him up, and I don't think he really goes for much at this point either. Like
yeah.
I don't think he goes
Because
for much. You could go make the deal, but
to your diva point, that's why I didn't think he works in Buffalo. Because Josh, after experiencing Stephon Diggs, I don't think they throw another situation like that at Josh Allen
And I think
for
Josh
who he
Allen
is.
likes the receivers he has currently. Keon Coleman is a big, strong, young receiver. Shakir is Tyreek Hill like, about the same size, does pretty much the same things. So
yeah,
I think Josh Allen's happy with what he has. But I do like that Kansas City pick. And it makes sense. He goes back to a team whose offense he's already familiar with. He's familiar with the quarterback, even though he did say Tua throws a prettier ball than Patrick Mahomes. So, I mean, hopefully they forgot and they just want to. I think they just want to win anyway, and they have a strong enough back office, a strong enough coach, head coach, and a strong enough team with leaders on there who can wrangle him in. Especially he's on the downside as a receiver. He's on the downside, and
yeah.
hopefully he sees that too.
Well, we don't know if he on the downside. He don't get the ball.
True, that is true.
We don't know.
uh, I'm gonna take a stretch. I would like to see Detroit go for him. I would like to see with that offense and let James
I
Williams over
wouldn't.
there just be the X and him and Amon maneuver around. I would like to see Detroit go for him and just
Now
have a full on speed
that make their
offense.
offense crazy though. I will say that opens
Yeah,
up a lot. That
yeah,
will make a lot of teams miserable just for the fact that they just got so much.
you know what I'm saying? And I can't tell, but I would picture Tyreek also understanding he's in a position where you might have to take a little less money, right? And he's but you do have another one on the way. I did just see your child report support situation. Florida don't have no taxes the way most other these other states do. So we might also just be stuck with him in Miami. But
Yeah, I mean, last spot that I could potentially see him in that will probably actually work because of who the head coach is and the way that their offense runs is with Justin Herbert. I could see him going out there and playing, and that will be a really good look. It'll
ooh,
open up the pass game even more for Justin Herbert, and I could see that actually working, especially with the coach. He don't play that shit that
at
that
all.
Tyreek be doing. So
he don't clash with McConkey.
I don't think so, not at all.
I I see the vision. I think they would probably want to set somebody else up because you only have I think you only have Keenan Allen left for this season, and it's a miracle he's not hurt so far. He's
Yeah,
probably the Tua of receivers. Him and Olave and whatever they have going on with their bodies and concussions and whatever the case may be. And Johnson hasn't proven that he knows how to catch with the two hands attached to his arms yet.
He's
So
done well
until
this year.
he's done all, he's done what he was supposed to be doing, and it's the fact that we're even like that's why how you were drafted. But he catches with his chest. I mean, is a shoulder pad receiver. So I think Tyreek being there would be all right. Okay, that's tough. That's tough. So we gonna slide over, man. AFC sticking there. That boy Burrow.
Glass Joe, Glass Joe, man.
He might come back week 12.
I mean, I think one of the things that I genuinely I hate that makes a fire burn inside me is when every single season at the beginning of the year when people on ESPN or you got FS1 when they talk about quarterbacks, I love Joe Burrow, but they always try to sneak him above Lamar Jackson, and they always try to sneak him above um it's your boy with the Bills.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Yeah, Josh Allen. Bro, you beat Patrick Mahomes one time and you lost in the Super Bowl. I get it. I get it. This was a long time ago, though. This was a long time in football years. This is a long time ago. The best ability is availability. If he cannot stay on the field, I don't know what I can't put him in the class with those people. And then Justin Herbert is ascending. I mean, you just start to move down. Jalen Hurts is who he is at this point. Like you got to just move out the way. I love Joe Burrow, but if you cannot stay on the field, you can't be in conversations with these people. I mean, yeah, you turned up last year, but y'all ain't even go to the playoffs. So
Uh, I might double down on that. I think the difficulty with him, what's going to happen this year, and it should have already been happening. My take on it is Justin Herbert's going to get the respect that he deserves, and not having a fifth in Joe Burrow to fill in that conversation piece of having the top five QB is going to expose that because you're right, he's never really available. And even for the time that you beat the Chiefs, you went to the Super Bowl and lost, and then ever since then you've been absorbed into the legacy or the shadow specifically behind Lamar and Josh. You're always just trying to make that additional name, and you have arguably the best receiver, core set out of all the quarterbacks mentioned. You got debatably, if he's not 1A, he's 1B receiver in the league between
we'll
him
give
and
him
Justin
1A.
Jefferson.
We'll give him one
One,
A.
okay, so we can go 1A. You have 1A and you have an incredible wide receiver too that can be a lot of teams wide receiver one on the other side.
Yep.
You you do have to struggle with that offensive line. I'll give you that. That's an awful offensive line and probably a large reason of why you're in the situation you are now. That's my only caveat for you when it comes to this injury is every time I watched him snap the ball, my next thought is, damn, he about to get hurt because somebody blew an assignment or somebody got beat on that line. That's the only leeway I could give the Bears, especially for the last 2 years. Last year, I think they were the second most rushed team in the NFL. for
Yeah,
how many
well,
times people were
that's
blitzing
what
on them.
happens when you don't change philosophy and they play out of pretty much 97% shotgun. You can't just stand in the shotgun every play. You have to run the ball. You have to do something different for people to stop doing what they're doing to you. So you
But they
have to
don't
change the
have nothing
philosophy.
different. They don't have nothing different. Chase Brown's not a power. And again, the offensive
Dude,
line is bad. So
it
you're in
doesn't
the
matter.
position that
You
you're
have
in.
to try. You have to try it. We can't just stand back in shotgun and throw the ball down the field. That doesn't work.
They did try. That's how we ended up with Chase Brown. The running back got cooked. They did try. And Chase Brown became a fantasy all-star because
Look
their
up
starting running back got
look
hurt.
up right now the percentage of time that
Oh no, you're right.
Burrow
They
plays
just announced it in the last
in
game before he got
shotgun.
hurt. Yeah, man. No, it's somewhere up in the 90s. No,
It's something
it's
ridiculous,
it's
bro.
really
Like,
it's
come
it's
on, man.
really I think it was like 70-something%, something crazy. Like
Yeah.
what do you think,
Look,
Jamel?
I think Joe Burrow is currently probably the best thrower of the ball. Like, dude can do whatever he wants with the ball. He's not physical like Josh Allen. Doesn't have the speed of Lamar Jackson. Um, he doesn't have the creativity of Patrick Mahomes, but he can throw any pass from anywhere. But like Rose said, it's durability. My mom always said the best ability is availability. And my man, he's just this is his second major injury. And he came in the league late. I think he was 24 when he got drafted, 23, 24. So he was an older dude also. So it just, I hope this is not an Andrew Luck thing because it looks like it
Ooh, that's
and
a
it
good
scares
comparison.
me. Yeah,
It's
I
getting to
hate
that
that
point.
for him.
It's getting there. Three months for turf toe.
Yeah.
Well, they did have to do surgery because I think they
I
just
feel
did.
you.
It was yeah, it's a ligament that I don't know. As far as I know, turf toe doesn't regularly come with surgery, but they did just announce that he was doing it for the ligament in his toe.
Yeah.
The way that he plays too, he could have been the Aaron Rodgers of this generation. But that's what it's looking like. Like you have the best talent, but when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to your peers and then the output of what your peers are doing, whether it be a Drew Brees, whether it be Tom Brady, Peyton Manning's, is like you also have injuries that hold you back. So you're holding on to that one glory year, that one Super Bowl, even currently as we speak on Aaron Rodgers. We can go over there because the problem is you, sir. The problem is you, man. Like the Jets weren't great, no, but you came off of an injury year yourself, and you got the entire season, and it looked bad. It made it seem like you didn't have Garrett Wilson over there. It made it seem like you didn't have Brees Hall in the backfield. Made it seem like you didn't have an okay defense that probably would have still been a top 10 defense if you were healthy enough to put the offense in the end zone. And here you are in Pittsburgh. And overall, as a team, man, Pittsburgh's not looking like Pittsburgh. They
Half a
not.
half a
We
billion dollar defense that doesn't play defense.
is this
I mean,
the end
they
of Mike
old.
Tomlin?
It's an old defense.
Is this the end of the era of Mike Tomlin? I feel how y'all feel about Josh McDaniels is how I feel about Mike Tomlin.
Oh hell no.
That culture does not just get satisfied with having a winning record and getting a being a first round exit in the playoffs. That's not the Steelers culture. You have
Josh,
all these winning records, yes, but it's been how long since their last Super Bowl? 9 years? 10?
no, longer. Was
Oh,
Eight.
it
okay, okay.
2012?
2012.
But also they have paid for not developing quarterbacks or drafting a good one because when you make it to the playoffs every year, instead of just doing what a smart organization would do and just try to tank, they won't tank. And they're holding on to that. Well, we made the playoffs every year. Well, your draft position is going to be bad every year, but y'all never get over the hump because y'all don't have a good quarterback. This is a quarterback league. Y'all haven't developed a quarterback at all. You won't spend money on a quarterback, so you in limbo. You're gonna be 500 every year. You're gonna be a little bit over 500, and you'll get bounced in the first round. I mean, shit, you got to invest in the quarterback situation. It's so bad that you went and got the oldest quarterback in the league.
Yeah. In addition to that, since Antonio Brown left, they have had nothing but drama at the receiver core, from
Because they ain't got no
Claypool
quarterback.
to Pickens, because Pickens, he was going through whatever he was going through in the animation that he was handling himself. Since Antonio, which is funny because it's Antonio Brown, they haven't been stellar at the receiver position either. Your best weapon. I'm not a big DK Metcalf fan. I'm sorry. I I don't see it. I don't, man. I
DK
don't
is
think he's a good
he's elite.
receiver. He
He's
is not
elite.
elite, man.
He is.
He's a bigger Debo Samuel, bro. He's not a great route runner. He's not. He's just big, and every now and then he has a deep play, which is a majority of the chunk of his yards. He's not just the 8
No,
reception per game type guy. He had a
he's
big play here and there.
that's
His
not his
biggest
style.
highlight is
He's a
walking someone
physical
down.
receiver. He's a physical receiver, and you have to use him a certain way. He's a better whatever you thought of Dez Bryant. He is a better version of Dez Bryant, faster,
Ooh,
bigger.
that's crazy.
He
He's
is.
faster. But his Dez had significantly better footwork than DK does. DK has two
Yeah,
routes. He
Dez
has
had
two
better hands.
routes.
I'll give you that. Dez had
Yeah,
better hands.
and
He's
he's a
a
But
better
better
route
route
runner.
runner,
He's a
Dez
better
couldn't run
route
no
runner.
routes.
But he
better
was a
than
better
DK
route runner than
Metcalf.
DK.
Oh hell no, man. We
He
gotta
DK
was a
make it
better
Metcalf
that,
is
route
a
runner
man.
than
giant
DK.
sprinter. That's all he is. He's a linebacker that sprints. That's what DK
DK
Metcalf
has
is.
two routes. He has a go and a stop. Literally, he has two routes, bro. Every now and then, if you get him to the goal line, which was a struggle with Seattle's offense, they were either the big play or get it all the way there, and you had Kenneth Walker. But
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you this. 1,300, 970, 1,048, 1,100, 1,000. I don't know how many people have those type of numbers consistently that are not elite wide receivers, brother. That have that
big
many
plays.
1,000-yard seasons consistently. It's only a few of them. That is an elite wide receiver. That's why he got paid like an elite wide receiver. And
Okay,
remember,
I
he
got
was
something for
doing
that.
all this with Geno Smith.
I
So,
got
I
something for that.
mean,
I got something for that. Don't worry. I just happened to get into my football world prepping for this. Did you consider Brandon Cooks an elite wide receiver?
Brandon Cooks, I,
Yes.
he's an underrated wide receiver to me.
Do you consider him elite?
But he's not elite, and no, he's not elite. He's
Okay.
underrated though.
Why is
He's a
he?
good wide
Why is he not?
receiver for sure.
Why is he not elite?
Brandon Cooks is just not an elite wide receiver. He's a smaller receiver. He's not elite. He's just not.
But you're not telling me why.
You had to tell me. Well, okay, Brandon Cooks. If you watch Brandon Cooks, he has one route that he runs. My man Brandon Cooks got one play, but he cooked with that play. But I'm saying with DK, he's almost had 1,000 yards every single season that he's been in the league. Like, and for somebody that's not elite, I don't know how to put that. That's an elite wide
Brandon
receiver to
Cooks.
me.
Brandon Cooks has 6 1,000-yard seasons. 6.
DK has almost had 6 of them, and he only played 7 seasons.
So does 1,000-yard receiving equal elite?
10 touchdowns, 12 touchdowns, 8 touchdowns. I mean, these are elite numbers, bro. I'm just telling you.
Brandon Cooks has 6 1,000-yard seasons in this NFL that we speak of today. And you just said he was a good, not elite receiver. Does 1,000 yards equate to elite?
Has Brandon Cooks ever been an all-pro?
No.
No. Okay. All right then. You don't
How many
become
all pro?
you cannot be second team all pro and not be elite, brother. That's not how that works.
I'm not there. I hear you. I hear what they dress him up to be. He's an okay receiver. Richard Sherman would call him mediocre. That's where I stand on that. He would call him mediocre. But
And
he's not going to change anything for Aaron Rodgers. I know that. Pittsburgh is stuck.
well, they don't have another. Pittsburgh doesn't have a run game. Not only do they not have a run game, they don't have another receiver on the other side of DK. You traded him. You traded him to the Cowboys. I
Which
think with
I don't
Pickens, I think
I
with
don't understand
Pickens
why they
and
did
DK
that.
on the same team, that's a good wide receiver tandem. I
Yeah,
personally think so
I don't understand why they traded Pickens, but they did because
because they
when
didn't
they
want to
got
pay him
DK,
and they didn't want to franchise him.
but you have nothing else to franchise. Fryermuth,
Shit, I don't know.
you have nothing else to franchise.
You got to ask the Roonies, man.
But that also confirms to me why I think it's Mike Tomlin's last year because you have nothing else to franchise offensive wise. Your best player is on defense. You're going to have to start completely over. There's no way you genuinely believe Aaron Rodgers is going above maybe at best next season. That heavily depends on what he does this season. You don't have receivers, you don't have running backs. We're about to watch Pittsburgh for probably the first time in their history either implode or intentionally explode and just rebuild. They might go
Well,
through
we'll
a
see.
Cleveland
We
phase.
only in week 2, brother. We'll revisit this conversation week 6, and then we'll see what's going on.
We gonna see it week 6 when it's 11-6 as usual, and then they go into the playoffs
We'll
and
see.
lose the first round. Okay, who's y'all standout teams in the AFC so far?
Um, Standout teams in the AFC. I would go Chargers for me. Um, Bills obviously, and then the way the Ravens put it on folks last week. Pause. Um, that's I mean it's the regular culprits, bro. I mean the AFC doesn't really change. It's normally just the Bills, the Ravens, and then you toss in the Chargers, the Broncos, or whatever. I mean, we'll see how the Broncos play this year, but
I wouldn't say doesn't change, man. The Chiefs are 0-2.
yeah, I mean, I will say they have no offensive weapons right now. So I mean, we'll see when they get some of their players back. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know if they had offensive weapons. It I would argue they're more healthy this year than last year, but some of these teams that they're running into, like the Chargers, we knew were at least I felt they were going to get better at having Harbaugh as a coach. Last year was his test run season, piloted out, but we knew they were kind of coming back, discovering Lab McConkey, being able to see what Justin Herbert can do in a shift of the offense. I think we kind of knew that they were going to change. Philly told me that nobody is scared of the Chiefs anymore. Kind of confirmed that. Like we're even going back to the QB conversation, you can't say anything to Jalen Hurts because I beat y'all's boogeyman. All four of y'all are in this particular conference, even including Herbert. If you wanted to go 6, I beat y'all's boogeyman and arguably almost did it twice if it wasn't for that one fumble in the first half. Whether
Yeah, I
you think
mean,
I'm elite or not, I
the
beat y'all's
Chiefs
boogeyman.
the Chiefs are currently devoid of weapons, bro. Patrick Mahomes is the leading rusher on their team. So, I
That's
mean,
crazy.
what would you like him to do? Travis
I,
Kelsey is on the other side of his career. He's almost done. I mean, I'd be surprised if this wasn't his last year. He can't create separation like he used to. I mean, you have no Xavier Worthy. There's no Rasheed Rice. Who would you like me to throw the ball to? I mean, yeah, we're 0-2 because we can't score points. Like it is what it is.
what was different than this year and last year?
You said
They
what?
didn't score points last year, and that's what I'm saying. There was
Well,
no
they scored
difference between
enough.
this year and last.
They
They
scored
they
enough.
scored enough, but they were a low scoring team last year. Same
Yeah.
same offense. You know what I'm saying? And I'm agreeing with your point more or less is what I'm getting at. That's a surprise to me for the AFC because you're right. Everybody else is looking the same, but at this point, them having 2 losses and the loss of Joe Burrow does shift the landscape to me. It does shift the landscape because the Cincinnati team that might be high scoring, the Chiefs team that is usually getting away with wins as the Chiefs have now made us shine lights on. We're
I
looking at the
mean,
Indianapolis Colts trying to judge Daniel
I'm
Jones
gonna
as we
say
speak.
not really because the Bengals didn't make the playoffs last year, so this isn't like that's nothing to me. The big surprise to me is the Texans being 0-2. I think that's what I'll say in the AFC. Texas being 0-2, they should have won that game last week or a couple days ago, whatever. Playing Baker, they had every opportunity to win that game. I just think you know I think we tried to crown CJ Stroud a little too early about being one of the better quarterbacks in the league because you got to be able to close those games. You got to be able to close them.
Baker has 2 wins that he didn't deserve this season. But to your point, to your
He
point, man,
closed those games. He closed
He
them.
didn't close the game. He closed the Texans one. He didn't
Yeah.
close the Falcons. He didn't close the Falcons one. Um,
Well,
see,
Baker seems elite in the 2 minute drill. I will say that.
fair. That's
If
fair.
if you give him the ball in the 2 minute drill, you can almost guarantee, because I just looked at the stats yesterday, he is number one in every category in the 2 minute drill. Every single one.
Mm.
QBR, touchdowns, anything you want to do, 2 minute drill, he's elite. So if the game comes down to you versus him, it's probably him.
Do you think that's with going back to the AFC? Do you think the Texans? Do you think it's CJ Stroud? Because his blocking is similar to Joe Burrow's and has been
His
that
off
way for the last 3 seasons.
his offensive line is really, really bad. But CJ Stroud went through a sophomore slump last year. I think it's carried over to this year. And
Yeah.
it's not uncommon to see with young quarterbacks, but it doesn't help that he has, and again, I like D'Amico Ryans, but he's a defensive minded head coach. And they need someone, they could use a Josh McDaniels or even Mike McDaniels if he gets fired. Because he's creative. Some dudes aren't meant to be head coaches. They're just meant to be coordinators. And Mike
Yeah.
McDaniels might be one of those guys. So if Houston brought someone like him in, I think it could probably resurrect CJ.
His receivers were hurt majority of last year too.
Mm-hmm.
Tank Dell went down, Nico Collins went down, Stephon Diggs went down. That whole receiving core, all of them experienced injuries for a good amount of games too.
Extremely difficult on him. I agree. But uh, the way he went through his progression changed. It got worse. He held on to the ball longer. Hence, his sack numbers went up. And I mean, we say that for certain quarterbacks, but then we don't look at Patrick Mahomes, who plays. Yeah, he's got Kelsey. That's great, but look at his receiving core. It's pretty trash. Tom Brady took off when he had Randy Moss, but other than that, he was making people like Deion Branch look good. So I mean, yeah, you're put behind the eight ball, but you still have receivers, and it's your job to get them the ball.
I'm gonna bookmark
You can
this.
defend him.
No, no, I'm not gonna defend him. I was actually gonna bookmark it in just the conversation about that draft group of QBs. Even with that younger group of QBs and like what it's looking like now in year three, between 3 to 4 for some
Yeah.
of them on it's been a struggle for a large amount, like almost to the point where Tom Brady clearly was right in the way of the development piece of it. With that, my big surprise is us even having to have a conversation on whether or not Daniel Jones is serious. That's been my surprise of the AFC.
I would
he
say I will say that it looks like behind a competent offensive line, he can play football. I will say
and
that.
because he's on a trend of almost making us apologize to Duke as a college in totality for his football program. Dog. 'Cause wherever Daniel,
I never thought he was a bad quarterback. I thought he was below average, but it's hard to, just like any other quarterbacks, like trying to evaluate guys when they don't have offensive lines and they're brand new in the league. It's hard to really evaluate what they are. Like if I'm running for my life, I can't say you're bad. I just can't. I can't. It's
you,
hard. But I
you,
can't say somebody like Anthony, like, so when you see Anthony Richardson and you see, okay, hold on, was this the same offensive line that you were behind and you can't complete any passes? Like, I don't know.
yeah, yeah, no, I was Jamel and I've had this conversation off mic before, but he's heard me say this. I've been asking people for a decent amount of time, what's the difference between Trevor Lawrence and Daniel Jones and where they were at in their careers? Numbers damn near identical, right? And I would argue Daniel
A
Jones was in a
college
worse
championship. That's
situation.
about it.
That's about it. You know what I'm saying? Like their NFL career has almost identical numbers for the same amount of years that they've been in. And I would argue that the Jacksonville Jaguars had a better situation than the Giants had, whether it be the offense itself, even the coaching, and then Daniel Jones also being. I also think he would have been Trevor Lawrence anywhere else other than New York. because of the pressure that playing in New York for most of their sports teams brings to you. You are in the spotlight whether y'all are a good or a bad team. And playing for New York, you have been deemed as a perpetual loser. So to see him in this AFC turn is kind of crazy.
And to that, his rookie year, Daniel Jones was over 500, and it put extra expectations on him. And I think with the New York media and those expectations, it kind of messed with him. And now he's in Indiana. There's no expectations there, you
None.
know. Just play quarterback. That's it. So he's got that weight off his shoulders. So I think it makes it easier for him. I feel extremely bad for Anthony Richardson. Dude has physically is everything you want for a quarterback and a cannon for an arm. He's not accurate. And I don't know if it's coaching or what's going on, but if you're within 10 yards, he's not hitting you with the ball. If you're 50 yards down, yeah, you're going to get it. He's going to bomb it to you. But I don't know what's going on with that guy. And he's
Honestly,
injury riddled. That doesn't help.
it's a wrap. It's a wrap, man. Because he doesn't show to go through progressions himself either, and he's uncomfortable standing in the pocket. So even with him coming back, I'm not really sure of his starting capability in a lot of these offenses. And to Rose's point, you need a quarterback. You don't have the time to get that leeway of let's test you out for an entire season no more. Even as losing teams, we see how, from the Saints to the Browns, we'll see how often they rotate quarterbacks just to finally get something on the board. The Giants did it last year, so I I don't see him competing for a starting job no time soon. But then I'll flip it to the other side. What are y'all surprises, or what is y'all stories for the NFC side? What we seen so far in these 2 weeks, other than Philly looking damn near scarier than they did before?
Um, only big thing I got in the NFC right now is really how good the Packers look to me. Um,
Woo.
their defense looks absolutely ridiculous. And with adding Micah Parsons, that has opened up it has just changed. You can tell the speed that they're playing at. It's going to be very difficult for teams, and quarterbacks are going to be very uncomfortable playing them. I mean, they almost made the Lions look like they couldn't play. And then when they played, who did they just play recently? The Commanders. I
Yeah,
mean, what's the name was running for his life all night. So
Jaden Daniels was on the
yeah, he
move.
ran for his life the whole night. He looked uncomfortable, and I think they're going to make most teams look that way. And I would be hard pressed. Like as long as Jordan Love can figure out how to do the same thing that Jalen Hurts does, which is don't fuck the game up. Like don't try to do too much. Just don't fuck the game up. Don't turn the ball over. Don't try to get us in field goal range. We can kick field goals. Just don't try to be a hero. I think they will be a surprise in the NFC, and I can see them being in the Super Bowl this year, honestly.
Jordan Love has a quarterback legacy to live up to. You went from well, I don't know, no one cares about Don Mikowski, but from Don Mikowski to Brett Favre, then Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers, and now Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love. He got to put up those stats too.
Yeah,
I'm hoping he doesn't. I'm hoping he does, like you say. Hey, just dump it off, keep it simple. You know,
keep it
um,
simple.
and I don't want them to go to the Super Bowl. They do look scary. It's speed on both sides of the ball. They look terrifying, and they have Micah Parsons. So how does that
Yeah,
work?
and and for whatever reason, Jerry's sending them a gift because that's probably the only team that I've seen that makes me go, Philly might have competition on this side, right? And I think because more so, even with Washington's going to go through their slump. Um, Jaden losing, they were already weaker at running back, but Debo Samuel is a great complement to that offense, an incredible complement to that offense. I think he would only be more solidified if they're able to get a solid running back in the backfield that makes it more of a threat. But we saw what the Packers defense did to him. And then on the flip side, we saw that Eagles defense looked damn near the same. Like Pat did better this time. You did better than the Super Bowl, but that Eagles defense still, what they weren't moving. bro. They weren't moving, and a couple tush pushes got them across the finish line, but it still looked like it was confidently a good defense. So they've been great. I am loving the demise of the 49ers. I am. I'm not gonna hold you. I don't know why either. I don't have anything against them, but I am in fact loving the demise of the 49ers.
They're undefeated though.
The 2-0, brother.
They're 2-0,
Undefeated.
but you don't believe in that 2-0. The way that the 49ers have been touted for the last few seasons, you do not believe in that 2-0 right now. Like it sounds good.
No, it's still early, man. Like I said, I really won't have a good hold on the season until probably about week 5. By week 5,
Mhm.
everybody start kind of either you'll show who you are by about week 5, week 6. And I think in the NFC, bro, I mean you're gonna have your regular culprits. You're gonna have the Eagles. You're gonna have the Vikings. I mean, I'm surprised from what I think about the Vikings. I think they'll actually be able to survive because of how good their defense is. I think that'll probably carry them to staying around, floating around 500. But yeah, I mean, you'll have the Eagles, the Lions, the Packers, um, the Rams. I think that's pretty much the NFC. Like that's what it is.
Uh, I do
Should,
think I have a counterpoint because I think the Vikings do survive to an extent. Two of those teams in that division clearly outclass them, which puts them down in the boat with us. Like what
Yeah,
I
I
did take
mean,
away from that Vikings game was it is early. I will add your point. The Atlanta defense is finally what I expected it to be, and those two draft picks changed everything for them.
yeah, they flying around out there,
Everything
man.
for 'em.
They can get
They
to
are
the quarterback.
moving, and even for what we saw with the Tampa Bay situation, they made stops in all the right moments. They got pressure. They were on his ass the entire game, and then they feasted on was essentially JJ's rookie season, and were predominantly man coverage against someone like Justin Jefferson. They were predominantly man coverage from what I was observing. So that defense is going to set us up for more failure. That's usually the same for the Falcons because the offense is not clicking the way that we were hoping for it to click. But I do
Yeah. I mean,
like
they look
I
okay. I think the same thing that you look at in the AFC and the NFC, the big difference between teams that are really good versus teams that are just good and then versus teams that are bad is can you win those games that are close? Those games
yeah,
that are close, what do you do? And
and
you
the
know,
and
because
the
you'll have
interesting
you'll have 4 or 5 games in the season where it'll be a one possession game. It'll be versus a field goal to win it. Like
yeah,
if your kicker can't kick, you won't win, as we just saw. If you can't
and
get a timely stop in the fourth quarter, your team won't win. Like it's just those little separators from elite teams versus teams that are just good.
and that makes me build into the point because looking at what Green Bay and Philadelphia are, after you get past Washington and I would say Detroit, even though you have to have an NFC West team, the NFC is kind of open for that next tier. And because of how bad some of the divisions are, like our division is terrible, right? And what I'm seeing from so far with the Falcons, and then continuously to your point about Baker Mayfield, one of those two teams mess around and gets in there and can mess up a lot of things for a lot of people. And I might start placing either one as a dark horse for the year because I do think Tampa Bay is not the same until they get a fully healthy squad, and they don't have that right now. But they do have a great, stellar rookie receiver from what we're seeing so far. But Godwin not being there, and even with Rashad White still, he's coming back from injury. We know we got Bucky Irvin, but they still are dealing with injuries on themselves. I
well,
got Green Bay as a surprise team, but I also think the Rams. I
I
don't
was gonna
I
say the
don't believe in
Rams.
them. I don't believe in them right now.
I do, man. They have the
I do.
same. Their defense is built a lot like Atlanta's. They have these two strong, fast defensive ends. Uh, Nakua is the number one receiver, and I think my guy I can't think of the brother's name. Devontae Adams. I think he knows Nakua is the number one receiver. So now you have an older but still Devontae Adams as your number two. Um, dude, the run game. I mean, where are they lacking? And they have
Nowhere.
one of the best offensive head coaches in the league. Where are they lacking?
It's a good
Hit
team, man.
me. Yes. I mean, The Rams are scary, dude. We'll see when they play Philadelphia, but the Rams are scary.
I don't believe they're lacking. They just always kind of, at least recently for me, had that essence of it can go to shit really fast in the split second of a game. Not even a team. It's just we're still riding the ups and downs of Matthew Stafford at certain points. He's kind of dialed himself back and having the comfortability of Nakua being able to be a quarterback in this league and have a consistent middle of the field dump off is a pleasantry that changes a lot of what we're seeing. And Matthew Stafford is one of the few people that has that comfortability because Puka Nakua and Cooper Cup just floating across the middle is almost of the same essence of Amon up in Detroit. When you can just have someone just kind of appear, Jackson Smith and Jigba, just appear in the middle and get you an 11 to 14 yard gain consistently, and they might be able to work in open space, is a huge difference maker for me for a lot of the QBs because we don't talk about Geno Smith the same way. And that's also what made me confirm my stance on DK is just you had Jackson Smith, you had the Lockett that were able to give you a middle ground dump off. You feel me? But Stafford's health always seems to be a question for me. I don't have anything against them. Y'all are absolutely correct. They're a well put together team. I just don't believe in the NFC West right now either.
Question for you: should AJ Brown demand a trade? He has 6 catches after 2 games. He was targeted. Where is he? He was targeted 9 times. He has a total of 35 yards, and he's averaging 5.8 yards per game
That sounds like some fantasy football hate.
per catch. Excuse me.
That sounds
Should
like
he?
fantasy football hate.
I'm asking, man. He is an upper tier receiver, but he's not going to catch the ball like that because they don't play that way in Philadelphia. So
I mean,
should
I
he
will
have to be
say
traded?
I'm gonna say no because he has seen both sides. It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. You were playing in Tennessee where you were putting up numbers, but y'all weren't winning shit. So I mean, which and you got paid. So look, you got paid. Y'all winning. You just not getting your numbers. Like you can't have it all, brother. You can't have it all. I don't know what to tell you.
For what he costs, I don't know who was going to get him.
Philadelphia.
You would obviously want to go to a
I'm
contending
sorry,
team.
Kansas City. Kansas City. That's going to be my
I,
answer for any wide receiver.
No.
Kansas City.
And the
Philly's not
Eagles would
trading him
never
to
make
Kansas
that
City.
trade.
They are not Jerry Jones, dog. Philly's
No.
not giving them to Kansas
But
City.
Kansas City.
that's somebody that would go get him. Like on, if they don't re-sign Pickens, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to trade for him.
I
But
wouldn't
nobody's
either.
trading in conference like that. That's not happening. So
Because I'm trying to think of what would you want back for him if you're Philly?
draft picks.
That's it. So you don't try to fill in the gap that he's leaving because
We ain't
even
throwing
though
to him
Sa-
now.
I know, but even though Saquon, what they do complement each other in the fact that my coverage is less because of you. AJ Brown still is one of the best receivers in the league, and then also having him in the back, like they complement each other in the fact that the defense has to make some decision because of how good you two are. You're not going to have that anywhere else.
No, I'm with you.
Well, they have Devontae Smith. They have Jahan Dotson. They have one good tight end, one really good tight end. Unfortunately, the really good is a little bit older, and the good Centera, whatever his name is, he's a little on the young side. They have pass catchers on their team, and like Rose said, they're not throwing to AJ Brown anyway, so you can basically just dump it to anyone. Um, he needs to
I
go.
think they try to
He's got to
reload on
go.
draft picks. That's the only thing I can see. I mean, shit.
I don't, I don't think he. I don't think he should demand a trade. To your question, I do think he is a bag chaser. That's the
I think by
personality that
week,
I've gotten.
I think by week 5, if he hasn't had like any real numbers, you're gonna start seeing that reading book on the sideline shit, and we'll see how that goes. We'll
Because
see.
all wide receivers are divas. Every
All
last
of
one
them,
of them.
all of them.
Okay, okay, I'm not mad at any of that. So then we're gonna go into our last and final piece. Kawhi Leonard, NBA talk. What's it looking like for y'all?
I don't really have much to say because I mean, wasn't a Pablo Torre has really done all the work. We don't really have much to say on that. It kind of looks like they have a smoking gun currently, and I'm just interested to see what Adam Silver does. Like, do you do what you're supposed to do, or are you gonna fold and roll over and show your belly, bro? I mean, there obviously has to be some type of punishment, but I'm interested to see on what the punishment is. That's it.
I know Kawhi better be thankful it's Adam Silver and not still David Stern, because David Stern would have had him out of here.
Yeah,
David Stern did not play.
voided
Uh,
contract.
yep. Adam Silver is getting tougher. He's still probably the softest commissioner out of all the major sports in America. He's a soft guy. Uh, he might have to make an example out of Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers organization, which could mean possibly, I think the players union would fight it, but possibly Kawhi being suspended for, 20, 30 games. But the Clippers are going to have to pay some money, and they're going to lose some draft picks.
And
They
and
don't
see
have any
that's
draft
where
picks.
and that's what kind of throws me off. So for y'all that don't know, essentially what had came about is the Clippers were discovered to be paying Kawhi Leonard under the table with a company that's more or less non-existent, and that company was endorsing Kawhi Leonard for what was it, like 26 million, something like that, under the
Yeah,
table. And the funny part about that contract of him, the contract that he has with the Clippers, whoever did their research talking about, he's not allowed to speak about the company. This endorsement ends as soon as he leaves the Clippers team. If he was to get cut, it only picks back up if he's with the Clippers or some on those lines. So all that, to Rose's point, is sitting out there. They got the smoking gun. What type of punishment do you think is feasible is probably the better like what could be pulled off? Because to what y'all both said, I don't think Kawhi should be punished. You put the deal on the table. Whatever cap
Oh
space,
no,
that's
that's not how
supposed to
that
be
works.
management and
That's
ownership.
not how that
That's supposed
works.
to be management and ownership, man. That's on him. I would say I think you void his contract. I think that's fair. You void his contract and then make it to where he can't re-sign with the Clippers. Now, where he goes, that probably changes the full market too. Because suspending Kawhi also does nothing for you. Oh no, I'm Kawhi and I get to sit down for 30 games. What are we talking about? That's what we used to anyways this season. What do we necessarily miss? And he's been more healthy these last two seasons, but him sitting down for 30 games doesn't do anything but hurt the bottom line for the NBA for the attraction that he does bring. In my mind, you punish the team.
I don't really got nothing for you, man. I mean, they void the contract and they just go from there. They don't have any draft picks to take away. All their draft picks gone. So like, I ain't nothing to do except void his contract.
That's crazy that there's nothing to do. You think they try to force him? Like, David Stern would have made him sell the team. David Stern would have made that boy sell the team, bro. Like he would no longer be the owner of the Clippers, forgetting that this dude is arguably the sixth. Wait, isn't he like the sixth richest man in the world, or something like that?
yeah, somebody, because I know he's the richest owner in pro sports.
He could have handed Kawhi the money directly. We never know about this. Could have
That's my
just gave
friend.
him, could have gave him
He
cash in a duffel.
he
We
wanted to
would
borrow
never know.
28 million. That's my friend. What's the problem?
That's crazy work. Oh, if he's back in the market, where does he go? Because I would assume if you void a contract, I don't know if that necessarily makes you. You would almost make him that he would be an unrestricted free agent, or does his rights go back to Toronto?
I think he'd be unrestricted
Yeah, he'd just be an unrestricted
because
free
he was
agent.
he was unrestricted when he left Toronto. He wasn't traded.
Yeah, he just signed outright. Yeah.
Where does he go?
If he wants a chip, OKC. If he wants popularity and stay close to home, the Lakers.
Ew, ew.
Oh shit, go
I
link up
forgot
with
they have
Giannis.
Luca. League up with who?
Go link up with Giannis. Shit.
I did forget that the Lakers have Luca. Man, come back home to San Antonio, man. Play with Wemby. Come back home to San Antonio,
Nah,
dog. Play with Wimby. Play with Wimby.
you don't like y'all
De'Aaron
training
Fox.
staff. Training staff bad.
They gone. They fired. Promoted to customer. They gone, dog. Come
Nah.
back down here. Play with De'Aaron. You got Stephon Castle. They both play defense, and you got a monster slender man back there. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come back to San Antonio. That's a chip right there. You can do it in OKC. You can do it in San Antonio. No?
No,
No.
no.
Hey, hey, let that hate
Uh,
go. Let that hate
That's
go.
not how that
You a
works at
Bulls
all.
fan and you're a Hawks fan. Let that hate go. Y'all are in purgatory right now. Let that hate go, man. But I mean, y'all got anything else to add for the week?
Nah, man. I think we hit everything.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That was a good week. I appreciate y'all brothers coming out. Again, these will probably be dropping either on Thursdays or Fridays. I apologize that I don't have a consistent day, but we're gonna get into it to where we start prepping for the weeks to come. We've caught up with everything, so we're gonna review the week, show what's gonna pop up, whether it be college or NFL and big games of the week, list what we see and trends as we go along. If you want gambling services, contact Rose or Brother Jamel because I do not have the capability for it. They can give you recommendations. However, Keep It Clean is not responsible for any of the adult decisions that you make. Please know that. That is all you. But con- contact them too because they will tell you the over, the unders, and all I'm going to tell you is you shouldn't have done it if they're in a Falcons uniform. Peace, blessings, and savings to all y'all, man. Keep it a buck, keep it a bean. Follow us on all of the platforms, and most importantly, keep it clean.
See.